Welcome to Little English Studio, where we bring the world's wonders, histories, and hidden stories to life in clear and simple English. Today, we travel to a city that lies at the very heart of faith, a place both ancient and alive, sacred and scarred by centuries of devotion and division. It is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on earth, and a spiritual center for three of the world's great religions. This is Hebron, the city of Abraham. Long before skyscrapers or highways, before empires rose and fell, Hebron already stood upon the rocky hills of the Judean mountains, 30 kilometers south of Jerusalem. Its name in Hebrew, Hebron, means friendship or alliance, a reference to the biblical patriarch Abraham, who is called the friend of God. Muslims know him as Ibrahim al-Khalil, and they call the city al-Khalil, meaning the friend. This shared reverence makes Hebron one of the most spiritually charged cities on earth, where the echoes of ancient prayers still blend with the modern noise of daily life. The story of Hebron begins more than 4,000 years ago. It was already an established Canaanite city long before the arrival of the Israelites. According to the Hebrew Bible, Abraham settled here after traveling from Mesopotamia. It was in the fields of Hebron that he pitched his tent, raised his family, and was visited by angels who told him that his wife Sarah would bear a son, Isaac. When Sarah died, Abraham bought a cave to bury her, a cave that would later become the Cave of Machpelah, or the Cave of the Patriarchs. This single purchase would make Hebron sacred for eternity. At the heart of Hebron stands one of the most revered buildings in the world, the Tomb of the Patriarchs, known in Arabic as Al-Haram al-Ibrahimi, the Sanctuary of Abraham. It is both a synagogue and a mosque, and perhaps one of the most tangible symbols of shared faith and painful division. The building's foundation is ancient, made of massive stone blocks believed to have been built by King Herod the Great more than 2,000 years ago. Around the same time he expanded the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Inside, within separate areas of worship, lie the traditional burial sites of Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, and Jacob and Leah, figures deeply honored in Judaism, Christianity and Islam alike. The spiritual power of this place is unmistakable. Pilgrims from across the world come here to pray. Jews whisper prayers near the tomb of Abraham, Muslims kneel on carpets beneath the domes, and Christians pass quietly, moved by the connection to their shared patriarch. But the sanctity of the site has often been shadowed by tragedy. In 1994, during the holy month of Ramadan, a massacre took place inside the Ibrahimi Mosque, when a radical Israeli settler opened fire, killing dozens of Muslim worshippers. The aftermath led to a division of the site, half used as a mosque, half as a synagogue, separated by barriers and checkpoints. Even in this pain, the faithful continue to come to pray, and to hope that one day this place of unity will again reflect peace. Archaeology reveals that Hebron has layers upon layers of civilization. Beneath its old stone houses lie remnants from the Canaanite and Israelite periods, pottery, fortifications, and even a spring that once sustained life for early settlers. During the time of King David, Hebron was briefly the capital of his kingdom before he moved to Jerusalem. It was here that he was anointed king of Judah, marking Hebron as a birthplace of monarchy and leadership in Jewish history. Over the centuries, Hebron was ruled by many empires: the Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, and later the Muslim caliphates. Each left its mark, building mosques, churches, markets, and fortifications. Under Islamic rule, especially during the Mamluk and Ottoman periods, Hebron flourished as a spiritual and trade center. Its narrow lanes, stone arches, and old souks still carry that medieval rhythm, a mix of spice scents, the call of merchants, and the footsteps of pilgrims. Walking through Hebron's old city feels like walking through time. The streets are lined with ancient limestone buildings, their windows covered with iron bars and colorful fabrics to block the sun. Above, laundry flutters in the wind. Below, the sound of the muezzin blends with distant Hebrew songs. There are bakers selling warm pita bread, women weaving traditional keffiyeh scarves, and children playing soccer between ancient stones. Yet beneath this everyday life lies tension. Hebron is unique and deeply complicated. After the Israeli occupation of the West Bank in 1967, a small group of Israeli settlers established homes within the old city, near the Tomb of the Patriarchs. Today, Hebron is divided into two sectors: H1, controlled by the Palestinian Authority, and H2, controlled by Israel. Hundreds of Israeli soldiers guard the few hundred settlers who live among tens of thousands of Palestinians. Checkpoints, closed streets, and restricted zones have become part of daily reality. It is one of the few cities in the world where the call to prayer echoes beside the sound of military patrols. Still, life goes on. Local markets reopen, artisans continue their crafts, and families gather for evening tea. The famous Hebron glass, handmade in vibrant blues and greens, continues to be blown in small workshops as it has been for centuries. It's a symbol of resilience, fragile yet enduring, just like the city itself. To understand Hebron is to understand the human struggle for faith, identity, and belonging. For Jews, it is the second holiest city after Jerusalem, the resting place of their ancestors, and a symbol of ancient promise. For Muslims, it is one of the four holy cities of Islam, alongside Mecca, Medina, and Jerusalem, because it is the home of the prophet Abraham. For Christians, it remains a place connected to the patriarchs of the Old Testament, whose lives shaped the story of salvation. But Hebron also teaches us a painful lesson, that places of deep holiness can become places of conflict. The same stones that once united believers now divide them. And yet, amid all this, there are still people, Israelis and Palestinians, who work together, who believe that Hebron's future should reflect its name: friendship. Organizations, peace groups, and local leaders sometimes meet quietly, organizing cultural projects, interfaith dialogues, and shared festivals to remind everyone that this city's greatest heritage is not its division, but its capacity for coexistence. Because if peace can ever bloom in Hebron, it can bloom anywhere. In many ways, Hebron represents humanity itself, complex, wounded, but still yearning for connection. The story of Abraham, who welcomed strangers into his tent and was blessed for his kindness, is the foundation of the city's spiritual identity. In Jewish tradition, he is the father of the covenant; in Christian faith, the model of obedience; in Islam, the prophet of submission to God's will. His life reminds all people of faith that unity begins with hospitality and compassion. Standing before the great walls of the Ibrahimi Mosque, one cannot help but feel awe. The stones are massive, some weigh over 20 tons, yet they seem to breathe with history. The air smells of incense and olive oil, and the voices of pilgrims merge into a single murmur of devotion. Here, past and present meet in quiet power. Modern Hebron is a city of contrast. It is home to more than 200,000 Palestinians, many of whom are artisans, merchants, and farmers. Its hills are covered with olive trees, grapevines, and stone houses that turn golden at sunset. Yet just beyond the hills, military checkpoints and barbed wire remind everyone that peace is still fragile. Despite hardship, Hebron's people are known for their strength and warmth. The markets are filled with laughter and bargaining. Children attend schools built beside centuries-old mosques. Old men gather to play backgammon and drink mint tea. In the evenings, as the call to prayer echoes through the valleys, a sense of timelessness fills the air, a feeling that life, faith, and hope continue no matter what. The Hebron Rehabilitation Committee, a local initiative, has worked tirelessly to restore parts of the old city, repairing ancient houses, reopening shops, and preserving its unique architecture. Tourists who come here, though few compared to other cities, often describe Hebron as hauntingly beautiful, a place that challenges the heart and stirs the soul. Hebron is not just a place on the map, it is a mirror of the human condition. It reminds us that holiness cannot exist without humanity, that our shared history is both a source of pride and a call for peace. The stones of Hebron have seen the rise of prophets, the fall of kings, and the prayers of generations. They carry the tears of mothers, the songs of worshippers, and the dreams of children who still believe in a better tomorrow. In Hebron, time moves differently. It flows through the alleys like the scent of bread and olive wood, settling in the heart of everyone who walks its streets. To visit Hebron is to feel history not as a distant past, but as a living presence, a heartbeat of faith that refuses to fade. And that was the story of Hebron, the city of Abraham, one of the oldest and most sacred cities on earth, where faith and history live side by side, where division challenges the soul, and where hope still finds a way to survive. Thank you for joining Little English Studio. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more journeys through the world's wonders, told in clear and simple English. See you in the next episode, and may peace be upon you.